haven't had a real opportunity to use my scientific background. I'm currently in graduate school for chemistry, so I know how to research a topic and like get all the information from like not Wikipedia. And I was really interested in doing this so I could like test my skills. I could use my research ability. Like circumcision. Circumcision is the removal of the outer layer skin on the head of the penis. Foreskin. It's done for many different reasons, mostly for the benefits, but at early adolescence, usually right after a child's born, and it's to be able to decrease the risk of a lot of different things. I did not grow up that religious, so I have not been exposed to a lot of it, but I do know there are some religions that are really against it. There's also some that it's more like a when they turn 12 years old and they're like becoming a man, that's when they do it. I researched a lot. I have printed out papers of my research in front of me. A lot of different things. The majority of it I was unsurprised about, but it was kind of the fact of like in America, the majority of men are circumcised, and there had to be a reasoning behind that. So from doing my research, I just found a lot of information like scientifically backing why we do that. So it wasn't a shock, but like some of the stuff was kind of cool that children who are circumcised versus uncircumcised when they're given like just regular shots like vaccines like throughout their like early adolescent life, the ones who were uncircumcised react to like experiencing pain more. That like a scientific perspective, they kind of talked about like they don't know because there hasn't been enough research, but they were kind of like maybe experiencing them to a little bit of pain early on kind of like sets them up to be able to understand and take pain better. I assumed I didn't know the actual percentage. I knew it was the mass majority of America, but I didn't know the percentage. I guess in like student health class in like middle school, I started to learn about it or get exposed to it. Where I really didn't, no one really talks about where I'm from. It kind of just gets pushed under the rug. I have no clue. I do know technically Virginia's in like the South, so we're considered pretty like Christian, the Bible Belt, like technically that hits part of Virginia. That I'm not sure if that is kind of the reason of just push it under the rug, but no clue. We were required to take health class through fifth grade to eighth grade, and I want to say seventh or eighth grade. It was towards the end because in the beginning it was about they like separated us, and they did like the girls learn about the girls, the guys learn about guys. Where like seventh and eighth grade they started to like combine. I think I learned about it when it was the boys and girls. It didn't impact me. It didn't matter. We did not. Well, the school system did not mention it. Obviously, there was talk behind the scenes. The talk behind the scenes out of like the maybe 20 or so guys that like I happened to like overhear about, only one was not. Originally, I would say the like I felt bad for them because that is like a procedure. However, after doing my research most recently, it kind of to me didn't seem that bad. From what I looked up, one, there's a couple different like lotions that you can rub on the site or medications that you can give to the child so then they don't feel it and they're unafflicted by pain. I if I'm gonna be honest, the main part that I was thinking of like what did it look like before? Like, cause I didn't know what that meant, and they're showing us like images online, but I'm like, I didn't know where I was, what's going on. Like, I was a seventh grader. I was not experienced to this at all, and I was very confused. They showed us like hand drawn like PowerPoint presentation where I remember distinctly beforehand they were like, "All right, no one laugh, everyone stay calm." And they made us all like say penis a couple times, and then we all didn't giggle at the word, and that was kind of fun. my school system was very, "Hey, it's good for you." And I know my school kind of put it in a point of view of, like, it's the mother's decision. So they tried to kinda inform us from the perspective of, like, "When you have a kid, you need to make this decision. What do you wanna do?" Because it does kinda go back the whole argument does go back to, like, my body, my choice, but it's not your body, your choice when your mom like, most of the procedures happen kinda right after birth. So then it's not your choice. I remember them talking not much about it, it was kinda just bounced over, but I do remember them saying that male circumcision is like a decreased effect of HPV, which I know from, like, my own scientific background that HPV is a lot of cancers and it affects a lot of the population, that they kinda just tried to connect those dots and be like, "Hey, if you're circumcised, then you have a lower chance of getting HPV," which is cool, I guess. There was the men can experience like the pain during the actual procedure. The procedure itself can go wrong. I saw somewhere that said that from I think it was 2019 to like 2025. It was recent. There was only 2 deaths out of the whole U.S. So like obviously that's a possibility, but there's not from my research many downsides to it. It's a benefit to be circumcised. Hygiene wise, it's easier to take care of. For penile cancer, it actually decreases the risk. It also talked about STDs and that being circumcised, you have a lower chance of getting STDs. In my mind, that correlates back to the like hygienic aspect of it, and that the more that you can keep clean, like the better. But they believe that STDs and HIPV and penile cancer all decrease with being circumcised. Because you have to, like, get in between, like, the skin layers and actually, like, clean it, and from my experience of men and my older brother, you guys are dirty creatures. You guys love to be messy, but it's if you need to keep it hygienic because most guys are not the most hygienic when they kind of start off as teenager and high schoolers, it's easier to be circumcised because then it's an easier cleaning process. I do. One. He is a friend from childhood. We like grew up together. So obviously when we were growing and discovering ourselves, things talked, I learned. But every once in a while we'll retouch on the subject and he is still the same old him. He likes it. He is his mom's from one of the European countries and like came over here and that's the thing to do in their family. Like that is traditionally they don't circumcise their men, so he didn't get it and he has had from my observation no problem. He has continued to be as active as he wants to be. We I grew up Christian, but then my family was very like indie, you get to do what you want, it's your body, your choice. So as I grew up, I became Buddhist. But our Christian beliefs were circumcision, and my beliefs are also kind of circumcision. Both of my parents are in higher education, also for science related things. So they both also kind of saw the backing of the scientific research that it's a benefit. So I would continue on, and I think circumcision is beneficial, especially from looking at all the health benefits that I would circumcise my child. I would just have an honest conversation with him. I want to hear why he decides that, and I'll counter offer, and together as a couple, we'll come up with a decision. Um, I would never say, like, if that's what you want to do, okay, but I also would not want to do my opinion just because it's my opinion. I would want us as a couple to make an honest decision together. Like 80%, he would have to give me a good argument of why, and I would bring out all of my research papers, and he would have to counteract the majority of my points. But if he can successfully do that and actually prove that, like, he thinks it's beneficial to not circumcise, like, that's what we'll do. I guess I am kind of shocked. From like my research, it's like everyone in every different research project was saying it's good, it's good, it's good. I'm shocked that I don't want to say people are going against that, but like people don't know that. The anti-circumcision movement is on my campus with three men who are like 60 to 80, who wear all white except a red blood patch, and then they carry around signs and like make comments and try to harass us college students. The last time I saw them was like, I think last year. I'm pretty positive people were like screaming back at them. I saw them with my own eyes and I had to blink a couple times and be like, am I seeing that correctly? What are they doing? And then they're like holding signs. Was not like stop circumcision. It was something stupid kind of written that it took me a minute. I was like, why are they here? What are they doing here? What is this? We're a campus of like 19 to 29-year-olds, and you're coming here to yell at us when we didn't do this. Go yell at your mom. I've never experienced anything that's not circumcised. It's so common here that that's all that I'm known for. So I guess I would say I prefer that. I guess I would start with like, what's your religion? Which is it this a religion thing? I then guess would go to like figure out the why of was it your parents' decision? At some point, did you then realize that you didn't look like the majority of other people in my state? And like, I would just kind of ask questions about like the why. Why haven't you gotten it done yet? And then kind of be like, yeah, you know you have a higher chance of penile cancer, and like you know that like you have a higher chance of HPV, and like if he doesn't want to, I'm not gonna make